Well, things are finally finished up at the townhouse, so let's go have a look at what we did. Come on. All right, so the first thing that I want to show you guys is the front door. So we put a brand new front door in here. If you can remember back, this was a big priority for me in the before episode, which I'll link to below. But I think it's one of the greatest return on investments you can make is the front door. It's the first thing buyers see. It creates an immediate perception in their mind of what they're about to see. And if you've got a shitty door like what we had, then expectations are way down. Whereas if you've got a very nice door, then obviously their perception is much higher. So we swapped out the old one for this. We actually made it much bigger. We had a larger opening here, but the one side was taken up with the side light. Didn't really think there was much need for that. There's a window inside that lets some light in, and we just thought a larger door would feel bigger and grander, more luxurious, and more secure, and just kind of up the game a little bit with a little bit of a higher end door here. So I think it turned out great. We painted it this color, and I'm really happy with it. So, all right, so let's go inside and I'll show you what we did in there. All right, coming on inside here. The first big change you guys will notice is the paint color. So everything in this townhouse, it seems, got painted multiple times. It's amazing how long it takes to paint things, but it really does tie everything together. So we painted everything. As I said, everything got painted. The next thing we did is we got rid of that gross, stained, smelly, stinky carpet. That all came out, and we ended up going with a luxury vinyl plank flooring, which is a really popular product right now. I really liked it because of the durability. So it's waterproof. It's going to last for a really long time. And it also was a little bit easier on the install, I think, because a laminate, which is probably the other product that I would have chose between, is a little bit more rigid and doesn't flex as much. But this luxury vinyl stuff is quite nice. It has a little bit of flexibility. So if your subfloor isn't completely level and you've got a few kind of dips here and there like we do here, it was a little bit easier to install. But it turned out really good, and I'm really happy about it. So the other thing that you notice in this room here, the great room, is we updated the light fixture. So we had an old boob light here before, quite popular everywhere really, but so we upped our game a little bit, given that this is the entryway. So when you first come in, just like the front door, it's perception. And we just spiced it up a little bit and put a nice flush mount pendant light is what I think it's called. But it looks nice. So when you first come in, you see that, and it's much nicer than the old boob light. So come on in here, I'll show you some more. So we also changed out this light fixture. This was a dining room, and there's just an old light here, but much nicer now. You get a dining room table here, it'll be much nicer. And another major change, this wall. So we used to have a wall here, took the wall down, and what a difference. What a difference. So it's now open concept, which is what everybody wants. And the amount of light that comes in and fills the area, just so much better. So really happy with how that turned out. In the kitchen, we didn't have to do a whole lot. This was renovated prior, so it wasn't a whole lot. The biggest thing we had to do was the floor. So we had the subfloor here, and then we had multiple layers of floor. So we had a difference in height. So we had to decide if we want to just kind of go with what was in here or rip it out so everything was unison and level. So ultimately that's what we chose to do. But as you can see, the amount of screws that were in this floor was just insane. I can remember doing when I was taking them out being like, gosh, would I love to have a beer with the person that installed this floor, just to understand why they needed so many screws. But it was worth the sweat because it turned out really nice. Now we've got a floor that carries and just goes seamless right through the whole main floor. So let's continue on. The next thing we come to is the railing and the staircase. I was a little bit concerned of what we would find once we took the carpet off the stairs. I didn't know what we'd be dealing with, if I'd have to cap them with another kind of wood or something. I just didn't know where the expense would get to. Luckily, we've got real natural wood for our treads, which was really nice because we could sand it down and it turned out great. So we sanded it down, we painted them, and I'm really happy with how it came out. The other thing that I was quite proud of actually is we had a little bit, well, it wasn't an issue, but it was just when we were going to put our flooring down, it was going to be a difference in height from the transition piece that you can see here. So I had to build it up so that it would be flush with the floor, and it just, the issue came in with how was I going to work it in around all these spindles. But through a lot of work and glue and sanding, I'm quite happy with how it turned out. So that was a big project, but again, I think it turned out really well. So let's head on upstairs. So the first big thing you guys will notice up here is the doors. So the doors, the casing, the trim. We got rid of the old 70s doors and trim. It was really small kind of casing, really small baseboard, didn't really stand out or anything. So we ripped it all out, threw it in the trash, and we've got all brand new doors, brand new door handles. We picked a door casing that kind of pops off the wall a little bit, which is nice, gives it a little bit of definition, and all painted just white, brilliant white, so it just stands and it pops, and what a difference. So all new doors, all new casing, all new handles in all of these rooms upstairs. We continued the flooring into all the bedrooms. Again, all the new baseboard. So same thing in here. All new flooring in here. All new door for the closet, and all same thing in here. But the other thing that we did that wasn't here before is it just used to be a blank wall and the window was here. So we chose to add this window casing on here, which I think was a great decision. Again, just like in the hallway, but the casing just kind of gives it another dimension, makes it pop a little bit more, and just kind of makes the eye go somewhere else. Just gives the room another element, which I think this was a great return on investment. So the other thing that I can touch on is all the electrical switches. So all the electrical switches got changed, all the receptacles. So they were all probably original to when the house was built in the 70s. So I thought it was really important to switch those out just from a safety standpoint. So all new plugs, all new switches, and the connections are all done according to the type of wiring that we have in this property. So that was an expense that needed to be done that perhaps you don't necessarily get a huge return on, but from a safety standpoint, it had to be done. So the last thing upstairs I'll show you guys is the washroom. We didn't have to do a whole lot in here, but what we did do, I'm really happy with. So first off, that old toilet that was here, there was no saving that. It was just nasty. So got a brand new toilet. We also put new flooring in here, which went with, we got a great deal actually. It was nice. And it's a feature I think that really is the defining feature of this bathroom. So we went with the Carrera hexagon tiles. And they're really nice because with the small little hexagons, I feel like it just makes this smaller space look much bigger. So that was a really nice thing. And we were able to save some money too on the vanity by keeping the older one, but we painted it. So we painted it the same color as the steps, which kind of ties everything together. And I was really, really happy with how that turned out. I think it looks fantastic. I quite honestly don't think we could have bought something that would look as good as this. So really happy with that. And that's pretty much in here, the new toilet, vanity, and the floor. So, and then just a really good clean on those tiles because they were filthy. But all right, so let's go downstairs where quite possibly the biggest transition we've done. So. All right, downstairs here. Again, more stairs, more sanding, more carpet that came off, but lots of painting, lots of work, but they again turned out great. So we got a little washroom here. Wasn't much we had to do. New light fixture, and we were able to save the toilet that was here. If you remember, that toilet was pretty nasty, but some really good cleaning, and we were able to bring it back. So aside from that, just some baseboard, new light fixture, and again, just really good cleaning. So the other thing, obviously we put the flooring in here, And this room here. So this room is all brand new. It was unfinished before, but you can see now just how bright it is. So we've got pot lights in here now. We've finished it off with drywall, continued the flooring in here, and what a great space. Somebody's gonna love this space. There's so many uses you could use with this. But again, I think this great return for what we spent to do it. Just really happy with how it turned out. So in addition to this room, we were able to keep a small little room in here, just to keep the laundry and the furnace and just some storage, which is also, again, you always want storage. So, all right, so that's that room there. Quickly just show you, we cleaned up the backyard a little bit. So in the backyard, if you remember, there wasn't really that much to do, just really some cleanup, some long weeds. So we cleaned all that up, and it's actually a very nice little backyard here. So didn't have to do much, which was good because we had enough to do inside. All right, so that pretty much does it. So that's the whole place, all summed up in this one video. It's amazing how long it took, longer than expected, but at the end of the day, I think it turned out great. So we'll have to see how it ends up. We're going to put it on the market and see what happens. So in the next video, I'll show you what happens when we listed it, and hopefully we sell it. So I'll give you all those details. So subscribe so you don't miss that one, and we'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.